Hello and welcome back to my channel. On today's news of things I don't really want to discuss, but I have to because America sucks, we are discussing yet again COVID-19, the coronavirus, the pandemic. You know, the thing that we shouldn't have to be talking about if the government had handled it correctly, but now we have to. Yeah, that. It's official. COVID became the third highest killer in the United States. That's where we're at. 9 months into this virus, it has outtaken everything but two. It is the third highest killer in the United States, and number one is heart disease, so think about that. Alright, so let's jump into it. A couple of days ago, with all the alerts up that come up on my phone for news, it was officially announced that COVID is the number 3 killer in the United States. The CDC also updated their website to say that COVID is airborne, which is something most of us have known all along. That's why you wear a mask, because droplets, it is aerosol, it can remain in the air for minutes to hours after it is expelled from the body, after it is shed from the body. So it is an aerosol virus. It is in the air, you breathe it in, you are likely going to get coronavirus. There's this whole myth going around that coronavirus has only killed like 9,000 people, I think, and I cannot believe I have to keep explaining comorbidities to people. But a comorbidity is when you have a pre-existing condition, like let's say an autoimmune disorder, and you're only 32, 33 years old, and you get COVID, and you can't fight it off because you're on medication to keep your autoimmune disease in check. So you can't fight off the virus, you get pneumonia, you get put on a ventilator, and you die. You would have been fine taking your immunosuppressant. You would have been fine living your life as a 32-year-old, 33-year-old person. You now have the Rona, and you can't fight it off, and you have now died. That is a comorbidity. There are a lot of comorbidities that drastically affect the coronavirus. Being overweight, heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of these things, all of them, put you at a higher risk of dying from the coronavirus. And when you get a death certificate that says that you have comorbidities, it just means that you had one of those. You likely would have survived without it had you not gotten the Rona. The Rona was a contributing factor to your death. So yes, while you had those pre-existing conditions that made the virus worse, you still died from the Rona. Okay? Let's just dispel that now. Now, when it comes to shutting everything down and just letting it wipe through, I keep hearing this thing where it is 99.99999% of people survive. First off, that is not true. It's like 97.2. And if you do the math in this country, that is between, at the lower end, 2 million to 6 million people. Are you willing to let 2 to 6 million people die so you can go to a restaurant or you can go to the movies or bowling or whatever it is that you want to do? Absolutely freaking not. Please remember that we also don't know about that 97% of people that survive the Rona. We are seeing people with permanent lung damage, permanent heart damage, permanent damage to other organs. It goes through and it completely annihilates you. Plus, I know a lot of people are like, once you get it, you can't get it again. But there are people that are testing positive for the Rona a second time around. So there is a possibility that you might not have an immunity to it in a couple of months if you had a lighter version of it, or you were asymptomatic or things like that. There's not a whole lot of information on that right now. We're just gonna have to see as time tells how long the immunity lasts, but I do know that there are people testing positive after they've tested negative and tested positive before. So they tested positive, negative, and then positive again, months apart. So I'm just putting that out there. It is information that I'm giving to you. Do with it as you please. The next thing that we have to talk about is these parties that people are having. Stop doing that. Just stop. Just stop having parties. Stop having these cookouts and things together. Just because you know the person doesn't mean that they are not an asymptomatic carrier. Just because you know the person doesn't mean that there's a possibility, or there's not a possibility that they could have it and then you're just not going to catch it. A lot of people my age and younger are going out and partying thinking, oh, I know these people, it's fine. And then they're coming up with the Rona. Stop that. Stop doing that. You are endangering your lives. You're endangering the lives of people around you. This isn't a freaking joke. This is a freaking worldwide pandemic that is about to go through its second wave. Europe is seeing an uptick in cases. New Zealand saw a slight uptick in cases. We have to be prepared for the fact that winter months are when viruses like this thrive and grow and do their own thing. So we have to be prepared for that second wave. We have to be prepared to understand that we have to be adults about this and social distance and wear a mask. It's not that hard. So just do it. Just save everyone the issue and just fucking wear a mask. Okay? Alright, guys. And that's all I wanted to say on that. I will see y'all later.